We are live. Hello to everybody. I'm Anthony. He's
I am Daddy.
and this is our UNC Duke live stream. The Tar Heels, the Blue Devils, facing off in New Orleans. Winner goes to the national championship game as we see UNC run out of the tunnel for warm-up
This game is like
or whatever.
when you got the Yankees and the Red Sox playing for the American League Championship.
Yeah.
Or Packers Bears in the NFC Championship. Or say if you had in Champions League soccer, Barcelona Real Madrid in a semifinal. But this matchup at this level, at this round, has never happened before. So that's one reason why this game is so big.
Yeah.
And then you've got the additional piece of one of the 2 or 3 greatest coaches in the history of college basketball, arguably.
Yeah.
If he loses, it's his last game.
Exactly. Coach K on his farewell tour. And when you look at this year's rivalry games, in Coach K's last game against the Tar Heels, or in Chapel Hill, the Tar Heels won, or Duke won, but the Tar Heels won when they came in to Cameron Indoor, Coach K's last home game. As we have Dave and Kathy Hyde saying, "Hey, Sorgy Stories, big game, big rivals." You put it
now,
perfectly.
some of you may be questioning why we are split screen for the moment.
Yes.
It is because we are doing sort of the dual streaming tonight.
Yeah.
You're gonna be all over the media world this evening.
Yeah, for the first half, I'm gonna be over with Stat Sports and Chicago Sports Network, and I'll be back for the second half. They will be joining as well, and I'll be downstairs with Daddy for the second half.
Coming on with us.
Yes, we have John Jansen saying, "Hi, as a Mizzou fan, I did not like Kansas winning. Nova, I was hoping they would win it because if they win, Marquette, as you can see with Daddy's sweatshirt, his alma mater, my favorite team, well, Marquette would get some money if Nova wins.
Right, because all the conference members of the champion make money off it.
Yeah, so I was hoping that that our athletic program could get a little extra cash, but man, this is just so crazy. Watching here on TV, you just can't imagine the emotions running through everyone, in the stands.
Yeah.
Yes, we agree, Dave and Kathy Hyde. No COVID in the house. We're all good to go.
Exactly.
And we see Coach K.
It was split.
Yeah, Coach K walking out. In fact, we were in these exact same spots. This is kind of my upstairs spot. So if you're so Daddy's gonna go solo with Flat Anthony for the first half.
Well, I'm gonna let you, the viewers, pick which Flat Anthony I should use for the first half. We may even give you, if you want, potentially a guest spot on the show. So let's see. Which do you vote for? Do you vote for the most recent, as real close to where he looks today? This was shot outside when we went to that game at the Palestra. Or do you go with him in front of the Liberty Bell? I can't believe I'm saying this. 4 years ago.
Crazy.
4 years ago. When we first visited Philadelphia for the first time, and we had no idea, none, that we were going to be moving here. So give us your pick, which Flat Anthony to use.
Yes, and
Flat shot or the Today Shot.
If you hear some background, I'm about to fix that. Let me get this up quick.
That we were going to be moving.
And hold on one second. Let me go mute. Okay, we're good.
Yeah. It is all good. All good. Yeah, I'm thinking the state of North Carolina right now has got to feel more on edge, more emotional, more hyped than it probably ever has. It probably ever has. We have one vote for the Liberty Bell version. All right. That's awesome, John. Very cool. What time do you need to head out?
8:45.
Okay, so you've
A
got
little bit before that,
about
probably.
5 more minutes.
How do you spell palestra? I forget.
Palestra.
Okay.
2 votes for the Liberty Bell version for Flat Anthony.
Oh, and don't forget Mommy and I's votes. Or at least Mommy's vote.
I am completely neutral. I mean,
I just posted a poll, too.
I first grabbed this version of it, but then you suggested the Liberty Bell.
That's true.
And I love them both because I love you, kiddo.
Love you, too. So, yeah.
Like, I love you.
No, sorry, I have the other StreamYard open. I'm not on it, but, I'm looking. Okay. So I was just checking that, and I just posted a poll. So far, 2 votes for Liberty.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We'll give one more view here.
So, yeah. And we see, I think, Coach K, they're showing when he was at Cameron Indoor doing his final speech. And now we see the interesting configuration for the Final Four on how the players actually have to walk up and down to get from the bench to the floor in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome.
For Final Fours. It's been that way probably the last 10 Final Fours. And the reason they do that is because then it's easier for the fans who have those lower seats to be able to see the game. Otherwise, they would have to be looking through the players' heads in order to actually get the courtside view. It's really similar if you've ever heard of Williams Arena at the University of Minnesota. And I think it's also similar to
okay, you're being a little.
Let's see, Mackey Arena at Purdue University, where the seats are below the floor level. And it is so cool.
Oh, you're back. We had a little internet issue for a second with you, but we're all good now.
Let's see. Just like Chicago got to vote twice. Fantastic, David Gaffey. But yeah, I mean.
Okay, so.
And just the view is something that they've had. If you didn't hear me previously, it's been about the last 10 Final Fours or so that they've had sort of a raised floor, because otherwise the football stadium fans, as John Jansen describes, those sitting in the first row of what's really a football stadium where they hold these Final Fours, they wouldn't be able to see the court. They wouldn't be able to see through the players.
Exactly. So I'm going to head over. I will be back for halftime.
Nice.
So I'm going to X out. If something happens, you should be able to fix it, Mr. Technology.
I work with it, so I'm probably going to be okay.
So long.
I'll miss you, kid. See you outside. Awesome. So you're going to be with me, all of you, for this first half with the Flat Anthonys. Right now, this one's getting the win. I'm not going to be sitting here holding up and talking to you for an entire half, but we'll give you some cameos as we go along. First thing to mention, this game is inside one of, I would have to check to see how many times the Superdome has hosted the Final Four compared to some of the other great historical arenas. Back when they held Final Fours originally, they used to have the Municipal Auditorium in Kansas City, where they held it a ton. They would hold it a ton at Freedom Hall at Louisville. But since then, since I want to say 1990, every single Final Four has been in a football stadium. John, with a comment, you like the mascot commercial road to Final Four? Oh, yeah. Big fan of those commercials. And you didn't know why they did the raised floor. Yeah, it's to make sure that it's more viewable for the fans. Sort of like a stage, if you will. They build a stage in the round to make it easier for the fans to see it. But the Superdome has hosted countless Final Fours. I mean, the first three that I remember that were played in New Orleans were 82. I didn't watch it. I was too young to remember it. When Jordan hit the game winner for Carolina to beat Georgetown. 87, when Keith Smart hit a game-winning mid-range jump shot at almost the same spot Michael Jordan hit his for Indiana to beat Syracuse in the Final Four. And then in 93, the Chris Webber debacle, when he both committed a travel that wasn't called and called a timeout that they didn't have for Michigan that gave Carolina Blue, a national championship that year. I'm trying to forget when it was held there in 2003 when Marquette, my alma mater, got destroyed by Kansas, worse than Kansas destroyed the Villanova Wildcats in this round. As we're seeing on our screen, Brady Manick, the bearded wonder who will refer to it on all these streams. And John makes a fantastic point. I feel like New Orleans has hosted a lot of sporting events, Super Bowls, both men's and women's Final Fours, and they have. And the reason is they are a perfect city to do it. Tourism is so huge in New Orleans. They have enough hotel rooms that they can easily house all the fans that come. I remember doing a story about this when I was living back in Milwaukee, when there was discussion about Miller Park, now American Family Field, hosting a Final Four. And Milwaukee could do it. Our hometown could do it in terms of the stadium, because the NCAA requires a stadium to seat at least 40,000 people for the Final Four. And they've done baseball stadium configurations before for the Final Four. They did it in Tampa. So Milwaukee could host it that way. But a city is required to have 30,000 hotel rooms to be able to pull it off. Milwaukee doesn't have that. It's got about 20,000. Philly could do it. Philly could host a Final Four, I'm pretty sure, because they've got the hotel rooms in the city, but they don't have the arena to do it. They don't have a domed football stadium with which they could host that kind of an event. That's probably on the city's list for future long-term projects for once they decide that they want to build a stadium to replace Lincoln Financial Field for the Eagles. Get one with a roof. You can do events like this. John also makes the point that it's middle of the country, east to west. That's not as much of a factor anymore. It's about, because, I mean, you can get anywhere on a plane. It's 5 hours from LA to New York or from LA to Philly. But it's also such a tourism-centered town, especially with Bourbon Street, especially with the French Quarter. It's such a tourist attraction that there are things for fans to do besides the game. And the stadium, what they've done to upkeep that Superdome, especially after the floods of Katrina, just incredible. Just incredible. And as Dave and Kathy say, everything is so close by to the Superdome, 1,000% correct, because it is right downtown. And you understand it, Dave and Kathy. When the Green Bay Packers, our Packers, won Super Bowl 31 and returned to glory after 31 years, or really 29 years of suffering, no better place for a tourist to go for a sporting event. That is going to be challenged, though, because now they've scheduled Super Bowls in Las Vegas, especially because of the legalization of sports gambling. Oh my gosh. Just to think, if you were in this setting, watching this game, the spotlight on the court, the dark feel of the arena. I mean, this is chills. and you're playing your arch rival in the most heated rivalry in the sport, in a game to decide who's going to play for the national championship. And it could be Coach K's last game. This is a dream scenario. The only better scenario would have been if this was the championship game, if this was the final. Dave and Kathy, as you've mentioned, you made a pilgrimage to kill Mississippi too. That may have to be on our docket at some point. This is not something we have planned for this year. I would have to do a lot of checking into what schedules may look like and whether I can take time off. It's hard to take time off during the basketball season because the kid has school. Anthony's got school. So to take him out of school for a week would be hard. And during Christmas, for example, we're going back to West Virginia. We can't go on some trip to some random part of the country. But how cool would it be for us? Because we've got trains. We got a direct train basically from about 15 minutes away from here, right down to New Orleans. To experience what that would be like, to take an Amtrak train down to New Orleans, catch a Bucks Pelicans game, and enjoy the jazz and the food and so much more of New Orleans. Someday I would love to take that trip. You may already have the game on and underway on our screen here. You Sling. So they are just about to tip off. And you've got probably close to 80,000 people in that arena about to watch this. This is chills. This is chills. This is so fun. So fun. Duke will begin with the basketball. Oh, man. Wow. And it's so weird to watch them not on a court of blue. To watch them on the colors of New Orleans. Or is it New Orleans? Or is it New Orleans? Carolina grabs the first missed shot of the game. I always pronounce it as New Orleans because the voice of the Green Bay Packers and that Super Bowl, Jim Irwin, would say New Orleans, and broadcasters have to get it right. So they're going with the official pronunciation as we have another miss that time from Carolina. And for those that aren't used to sports live discussions, we always keep the sound down with the broadcast. That way there's no copyright issues. But I can tell you, I do miss hearing the great Bill Raftery calling this game as a color commentator. I'll tell you something. When I was starting my career out of college, I was a play-by-play voice for minor league basketball. No one's made a shot yet in the first minute and a half. And Bill Raftery was the guy I always wanted to call games with. Because to me, he has the energy of Dick Vitale with even more of a basketball IQ. He knows how to make salient points so well, intelligent points, and make it in an entertaining way. Like audio coffee, like the iced coffee I got here. Oh, to be at this game would be incredible. Put in the comments, what rivalry game would you love to be at, especially in a playoff type setting? As the first bucket of the game is a 3 for the Tar Heels. Part of me wants the Tar Heels to win this game. Also say in the comments who you want to win. Because I've never liked Duke. I've always had admiration and respect for Coach K. But I've never liked the Duke program as they power Daryl Dawkins slam it to make it 3-2. And it appears, let me go check the poll here. Our current poll results are telling us As Anonymami enters the room, she's not going to be on, but she's entering the room. Hi, Anonymami.
Hi, everybody.
That people want to see Flat Anthony. So I'm going to watch the game with you when you come back, until you come back for halftime and bring your buds from Stat Sheet Sports and Chicago Sports Network. The kid will be back, I promise you. But tell me, what rivalry game would you love to see the most in the postseason? For example, when I was working and living in Milwaukee, working on the Packers radio network, had I not had to work the game in the studio for the NFC Championship game, when the Packers and Bears played at Soldier Field in Chicago, we would have been at that game. No question. I would love to see that in an NFC Championship game. As a college basketball fan, I would dream of seeing my alma mater, Marquette, against the university I worked for 3 years, the University of Wisconsin. They're arch rivals. I love the Badgers when they're not playing my team, but there's no one I want to beat more. A Marquette-Wisconsin championship game in this tournament. That would be a dream. Man, they are shooting colder than Lake Winnebago in February. Although you got a nice little put-back slam to make it 4-3 Duke. And for those of you who don't know that reference, watch Charlie Barron's, great Wisconsin comedian, and his videos about ice fishing on Lake Winnebago in winter. The first time I ever took Anonymami ice fishing, or up to northern Wisconsin, I should say, we drove past Lake Winnebago, which is in sort of the middle eastern part of the state. And she saw ice fishermen for the first time. And they had streetlights on the ice for all the cars driving on it because there's so much traffic. And she was just in shock. I was in shock. This pace is slow. It's deliberate. It is passionate defense and hard work. And just ugly basketball so far. Incredibly ugly basketball. Incredibly. Dave and Kathy, hi. The Bears-Packers game, the game you'd most want to have been at, of a great rivalry for a championship. Great rivalry. Most agree. And in sports, it's something where when the great rivals of a sport are both playing really well, it's better for the sport. That's the way I feel about the Packers and Bears. I always want the Packers to win, but it's really good for the sport when the Bears are good as well. I mean, this type of game, Carolina-Duke, the biggest rivalry in college basketball, and it's on the biggest stage. I mean, anytime you got a Yankees-Red Sox American League Championship Series, it's ridiculous. It's like that becomes the main event even more than the World Series in some ways. And the kid making a little appearance. Anthony stopping by for a second. Hey! As he currently is on, if you want to go check him out with his buds on Stat Sheet Sports and the Chicago Sports Network, they're going to be all together for the first half. And then the kid is going to be bringing him over, virtually over to our house for the second half. I finally get to do this live stream with them, these friends that he's done so much cool stuff with as well. And he absolutely makes a great point. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to us, Stat Sheet Sports, and Wisconsin Sports Network. By far. And you will see the kid, Anthony, live with us second half. But yeah, someday, I mentioned Barca, Real Madrid. Or imagine, like, if you're a soccer fan, Liverpool, Everton, or Manchester United, Manchester City in the Champions League. I mean, that's just ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. Hey, no problem, kid. We'll see you in a bit. And just what those kind of games mean when you get to that level. One of the cool things I think that they do here at the Final Four is that they open the student sections where you only, as a student, only get access to your team's game, but you get first come, first serve seats for your team for a Final Four game. I'd be all over that. All over that. Well, I would have given to be part of a student section for a game like this. I mean, because Duke and Coach K, they destroyed Marquette's hopes in the Sweet 16 in 1994 when they had a fantastic team. And, of course, they and Carolina and all those other teams were outstanding. Go check out the link if you want to slide over and catch Stat Sheet Sports in a little bit, and then, or now, and then pop back over a little bit if you want to join the kid. But Duke broke my heart when they knocked Marquette out of the tournament in the 90s. So part of me has been more of a Carolina fan, partially for that reason. More than anything else, though, to me, why I would support Carolina more than Duke typically in a game like this is because of the Duke fan base. And sort of the, I hate saying this, but the snobbish attitude of a lot of the students and the culture of the university. And there's just one perfect example. There was a game a bunch of years ago when they were playing a team where one of the students who was playing in the game, Anthony Chimito, thanks for popping in. How you doing? But one of the fans for Duke, or one of the kids on the team playing against Duke, had just lost his grandma. Just lost his grandmother, who passed away. And he had some free throw attempts at this game at Cameron Indoor Stadium, Duke's great historical arena. And the student section, during the middle of his free throw attempt, started chanting, "Where's your grandma? Where's your grandma?" And to me, that was so classless. And that too often is so reminiscent of what I've been exposed to with the Duke program. When you have that kind of an attitude, that kind of, oh my gosh, you leave somebody that wide open, he's going to dunk on you like that. Carolina doubling the score to 8-4, 14:23 left in the first half. I feel like my storytelling has been much more exciting than the game so far, at least if you want scoring. But it's been passionate basketball. But when you have that type of attitude as a fan base, as Carolina's lead is cut in half with a Duke layup, that to me is just not good. It turns you off. And it's why I would root more for Carolina in these games. So there's that reason. We also have family who live in Carolina, and they're big Tar Heels fans. So we would tend to support them with that as well. Then came the Eric Church issue this week, though. Of course, the country music star, he's a big North Carolina Tar Heels fan. When they beat St. Peter's in the regional final round here in Philly to get to the Final Four, he actually was here in Philly. And he had a concert scheduled for tonight in San Antonio, Texas. You got tens of thousands of fans who bought tickets. You have fans who have made plane reservations. You have fans who have bought out hotel rooms like crazy. You have fans who've made restaurant reservations. You have tens of thousands of people in the concert venue. You have how many thousands of employees whose lifeblood are these events, who are usually part-time workers. And in that circumstance, if there's no event, they ain't working, let alone the stadium workers. And he decided to say, forget all of you. Forget the responsibility that I have to follow through on the promise I made that I'm going to make this event happen. And for all of you, forget you. I don't care about you. I care about watching my Carolina Tar Heels in the NCAA tournament in the Final Four against Duke. And he canceled the concert so he could watch this game. That, to me, is... nothing's unforgivable, but that, to me, like, he just doesn't care. Duke with a power slam to make it 10-8 Carolina, 12:50 left. That's our guy, Theo John Marquette, who transferred to Duke. I'd love to see him succeed and win a title. Another reason to root for Duke in this circumstance. But, yeah, there's part of me that's like, I want him to... I don't like to wish sadness upon people, but I think it would be more just for a Duke win, at least for that reason. 11-10 Duke after a 3 with 12:18 left. Hello, Mr. Chopsticks. We are in the palatial Sorgi Estate, in the Sorgi Estate den and office. And Carolina matching it with a 3, 13-11. In the first 8 minutes of the game, 24 combined points. This is the kind of pace that you would expect with the first 8 minutes of the game, that you would expect with like Wisconsin, Michigan State. Just boring, but they're starting to move. Now tied at 13. It's starting to get interesting. I think you had a lot of fencing and parrying, and teams perhaps that were extremely nervous. And when you look at that points in the paint stat, you see just how well Duke is keeping Carolina from scoring in the paint, not giving them anything, as you just saw with this possession. Duke's defense in the paint has been suffocated. Suffocated. Oh, the face of Hubert Davis, which is now frozen on the screen, which means I may have to restart this feed. Time out. Be right back. As I fix the signal. As Google Video decides it wants to not be nice to us anymore. So while we wait for the feed to return and Chromecast to return, I give you Flat Anthony. He will be back for the second half. He will be back for the second half, as we are at a commercial break anyway. So you're not missing much. You voted that you wanted to see Flat Anthony from 4 years ago with the Liberty Bell versus Flat Anthony today. So we give you Liberty Bell, Flat Anthony, at this point here in the break. He's in the chat sometimes. Dave and Kathy joining that little discussion. Mr. Chopsticks, congratulations on your sobriety tonight. Now, you're doing better than our video feed at this point. So, at least for this first half, if you want to slide over to Stat Sheet Sports, you will see Anthony with his bud Stat Sheet Sports and Chicago Sports Network. And Dave and Kathy, you are observing the sobriety of Mr. Chopsticks, who's joining us. Long-time commenter from a while ago. It's been a while since we've seen you on one of these, but this is a championship event. Tracy Wolfson of TBS, at least in this round, talking one-on-one with Mike Krzyzewski with the one break half. Yep. I am sober as well. I have my H2O. I have my coffee to keep me awake, both for this game and then later on. We're going to have a long editing night tonight. But this, yeah, you're looking at number 12, Theo John, the former Marquette forward and center, transferred out after completing his undergraduate degree at Marquette. And you're allowed to transfer out without losing a year of eligibility because he still had one to be able to go play for Duke. And he took it. He took that year of eligibility, and I congratulate him for that. For that, in that sense, I'm rooting for him. Absolutely rooting for him. And Sling TV not being a friend of ours at the moment. But we're definitely trying to get the feed going. Chromecast giving us issues, but I can at least watch the game on the phone if necessary. Yep, we can do that here. 14-13, the Carolina lead, almost halfway through the first half. All right, now I believe, Mr. Chopsticks, you're a hockey guy, correct? Imagine which game you would love to see, which rivalry game you would want to watch in a Stanley Cup playoffs. I mean, to me, this would be like Montreal-Boston in the Stanley Cup semifinals. Or Flyers-Rangers, which is a big rivalry around here. Although I'd say Penguins-Rangers even, or Penguins-Flyers, it might be even bigger of a rivalry around here. But that's the beauty of great games like this. When you've got championships at stake and rivals are going at it. But especially with the history between these squads as Duke takes the lead. And those clad in royal blue inside the Superdome are going off. Man, just bonkers. And Duke against some very cold Carolina shooting. I think the teams are going to get to 50 in this game, which is so not like these two teams. They have been playing just stalwart defense, and I think some pretty nervous shooting as well, as Duke extends their lead to 3, 19-16. And I can tell you, if Duke wins tonight, I loathe Kansas even more, perhaps, than I loathe Duke. So I probably would go for Duke in that championship game. It's now 19-18. Would you go for Duke, Flat Anthony, in the championship game? I think he'd be saying yes. He would very easily be saying yes if it's Duke, Kansas. But, and same thing with Carolina, probably. 21-18, Duke now ahead. in a mid-range jumper fest. I'll never forget when the Washington Post did a bunch of sports analytics on just how ineffective in terms of overall point production shooting mid-range jumpers is in basketball, because you've seen this movement now where it's either drive to the hole for the bucket or shoot threes like Duke has just done right there in that possession. You score more points per game when you do either one of those things, and that the mid-range jumper is basically useless now. Since we're at a break, we're going to try the Chromecast again. But it's so useless that the mid-range jumper. If you're a follower of Aaron Rodgers on social media, he is a huge basketball fan, and he is an aficionado of the mid-range jumper. And I remember him talking about mid-range jumpers one time on Twitter. And I'm like, I sent him this link to this Washington Post article. And I told him, hey, dude, the mid-range jumper's dead. Of course, he quote tweets me as like hashtag fake news. The most read tweet I think I'd ever had in my life. That dude, I've had issues with some things that he's done, obviously. But that dude can be a ball. Absolute ball. And I would not be shocked if he's at this game. Not be shocked. Flat Anthony is here with us. He'll be with us at the second half, along with his buds, Chicago Sports Network and Stat Sheet Sports. Yost Malone! Hey, thanks for popping on. This guy, sub to him as well. Subscribe to him as well. By far. Great baseball channel. Great channel discussing the world of doing gig economy, the gig life when it comes to DoorDash, when it comes to Grubhub, and such an education on what that world is like. Who knows? Maybe I'll do that as well, besides what I already do. And maybe when I retire or something happens with a job, who knows? I may take that step. Yost, I may be watching, especially what you're doing. But he is a viral TikToker, especially about baseball. Go check him out. Check out his channel. Follow him. We are hoping to get together for some baseball this year. We have plans. Our goal is to get to 10 Milwaukee Brewers games all over the eastern half of the country. Yes, check out these channels. Yost and Dave and Kathy, great channel from Wisconsin, our home state. And we will meet up, Yost. You got that right, man. We will meet up. As a matter of fact, Yost, the colors you're seeing on the screen are our team's colors. Powder blue, the throwback of the Brewers and your Kansas City Royals. The royal blue, the color of the Royals, the color of the throwback Brewers. Should have worn some of that tonight, but I'm saving that for baseball. Saving that for baseball. By far. Let's see. Thank you, Grossi Raider. Grandizer 12. Thank you. Thank you for being part of that great team that got us over 1,000 subscribers. Love it. Love it. Absolutely. As we're back to action, Duke up 21-18. Chris Learning in the house. One of our other great college basketball fans. The kiddo is still up. And he will be joining us live. We have Flat Anthony for the first half. He will be joining us live in the second half. But he's with that crew right now for the first half. Stat Sheet Sports and Chicago Sports Network to discuss this game. And then all three of them are joining us for the second half. And Yost, thank you big time. Get our watch hours up so we can get closer to 4,000 watch hours. Basically, we did the math and figured out we were going to have to double our watch hours in order for us to get to 4,000. We're going to have to double our watch hours through August 1st to do it. So anyone who's willing to spin our weapons are ready, Anthony. Weapons are ready. But anyone who can constantly spin our stuff on like some sort of device that you're not using would be just awesome, because that'll get us closer to 4,000. We had a classic pillow fight during the blowout as Duke takes a 24-18 lead on Carolina. But the blowout, when Carolina destroyed St. Peter's, we had to have some sort of entertainment for everyone as Carolina cuts the lead at 24-20. I thank you, Yost. Yes, you have been watching. It has been going up on particular days. Absolutely. Big time appreciate that. Oh, man. To figure out the surface area of a triangular prism and join in the second half. That's awesome. Join us with and pillow fight everyone inside your houses. If anyone out there wants to do pillow fights, it'd be fantastic. Oh, wow. Oh, a Carolina player just landed on his rear end after attempting to get a rebound. And I mean, that can be dangerous to your back. But yeah, at least he got back up and is okay. Oh, this replay, the drive to the bucket for the reverse layup after the shot fake on the three. Oh, and just like a scissor kick, acrobatics, and hang time on that layup. I give him credit. But what I was about to say was it started because of a shot fake. There are things about Bobby Knight that I will never agree with in terms of his treatment of human beings in many cases. But his intelligence of basketball is unmatched or unsurpassed in college basketball. Oh, we've got a Carolina player with a bit of an elbow issue. But Bobby Knight once said, the best weapon in basketball on offense is the shot fake. Because you basically, if you have an effective shot fake, you take out a defender. And you open up a free opportunity. Number one, for your own shot. And number two, if you draw more defenders to you, four other players were going to be wide. One of them could be wide open for a bucket. The shot fake has to be part of your arsenal as an offensive player. Carolina hanging around as they cut the lead to 24-21, 6 minutes left here in this first half. It got ugly early. And teams could not hit shots if they were 2 feet away. And you couldn't get 2 feet away because these defenses were so locked down. But they began to finally open up this game a bit. Ooh, some rubbing and racing between these schools. And a foul called. It appeared as if the Duke player really initiated the contact, but the basketball rule says if the defender is moving and there's contact, it means that the foul is on the defender. And sometimes I find that unfair, but it just is. It just is. 5:45 left. Duke up 24-22. Carolina with the ball. That's just crazy to imagine. 80,000 people watching a basketball game. I mean, you have to have binoculars if you're sitting up at the top row of that stadium. But you just want to be there. You want to be there for an event like this. That's just so historic in so many ways. It's arch rivals playing in a Final Four in what could be one of the greatest coaches in basketball history's last game. Oh, I also want to give Chris Learning a little bit of a shout out, as well as my wife's family in West Virginia, because Bob Huggins, Basketball Hall of Fame. Way to go. Coach of West Virginia, longtime coach formerly at Cincinnati, who made my Marquette team's life miserable. And 2 former Milwaukee Bucks coaches making the Basketball Hall of Fame. Larry Costello, who was the coach of the 1971 Milwaukee Bucks when they had Kareem and Oscar, won 66 games, and then only lost twice in the postseason and swept to win the championship in 71. And then later on, Del Harris, also making the Basketball Hall of Fame. Coach of the Bucks in the late 80s, early 90s, had more success later on in his career. Also took the Houston Rockets to the finals early in the 80s. Tied now 24. Make that a 26-24 lead with Theo John, who you see on your roster there on the screen there wearing number 12 with the dunk. I'm going to throw in a link here from when we saw Marquette, North Dakota State. And the last Marquette game that we went to, as we're tied at 26. And you will see a decent amount of Theo John sightings on that video. 28-26 Duke, 4:10 left, first half. This was when we had a chance to sit courtside to see Marquette, North Dakota State. And one of these final 4 plays, you see Theo John, who's arguing some sort of a referee's call. Marquette and State when we sat courtside. There is that link. Bookmark that and check it out when we're done. As we're in the final minutes of the first half right now, at a break. And we were able to sit courtside for that game for $7 a seat. The reason we were able to do that is because Marquette has something where when the students are out during their Christmas break, they open up the student section for the general public. And it's like 10 games, 5 men's, 5 women's during Christmas break. It's 10 games for $70. First come, first serve seats. And we took advantage of that and went to 5 Marquette games, including a Marquette Villanova game where they upset a top 10 Villanova team. And every time the worst seat we had was second row. I mean, that was such a deal. Such a deal. And we take you on that journey from when we went to that game, that Marquette North Dakota State game, in that link. So go check that out in an arena that I miss going to, that hopefully maybe sometime next year, because we got some frequent flyer miles coming. We can take a flight out on a weekend, go catch a game, and quickly come back here to Philly. Oh, Anthony, fan of Cleveland, buying home opener tickets was awesome. If you already know about this, by the way, this video, the experience we had in Cleveland last year, Anthony, feel free to shut down this part of the conversation. But I'm going to stick in the link the link in from when we had probably the greatest experience that we had, Anthony, of our entire Sorgy Stories journey. It was not a good night for you, for your squad. But it was a banner night for us. We saw Corbin Burns and Josh Hader throw a no-hitter. Anthony, oh, thank you. That was the first one you saw of ours. That was such a special night. Because you never know when a history-making moment happens like that. Oh, there's Mad Mike. Mad Mike. You do not want to see Mad Mike if you're a referee. When you see a Coach K, Mad Mike. As a matter of fact, it could be argued that when Duke beat Wisconsin to win the NCAA championship in 2015 in the Final Four, the Badgers were up in the game. And yes, that was definitely an elbow. In that circumstance, although I would say Theo John may have done, if you're looking at it slow-mo, a decent acting job. But he was hit. At the same time, he did wrap his arm around the Carolina player first. So I could see why they might make that call. But yeah, that's a bit controversial. 2015, Duke is playing Wisconsin. And Wisconsin's up mid-single digits. And in the final part of the second half, Mike Krzyzewski, Coach K, gets crazy. As Anthony mentioned, to go to Stat Sheet Sports for the last couple of minutes, and then he's going to join us at halftime in the second half and bring on his buds, Chicago Sports Network and Stat Sheet Sports. But that game, when Coach K started screaming at the referees and giving them a piece of his mind, there's the argument that they started calling the game more Duke's way versus Wisconsin's way. And Duke got the calls and then won a championship because of that. You never want to blame anything besides what's in the mirror when you lose a championship. And that was a heartbreaking day for the Badgers, because they could have won a title. You never want to blame anything else than what's in the mirror for when you fail in a game like this. But there's a reasonable argument that Coach K's screaming at the refs was the key for Duke winning that game, as they're now 30-26, 3 minutes left until halftime. I'm seeing Hubert Davis. I'm seeing Coach K in these sweatsuits. It's just wrong. They should be wearing suits and ties in this game. I'm sorry, but they should be. Oh, it's getting testy and pounding underneath. Yeah, Carolina's not going to be giving away any free points here. You got to earn them at the line. And they're letting them play it in some ways. It's physical. It's physical, which in some senses I love, because you got to earn it. I see Wendell Moore taking such a deep breath at the free throw line. He feels what this game means. He knows what this game means. And those deep breaths, that you got to take. Oh, Dave and Kathy, great move to go and give some love to Yost Malone. Fantastic channel. Fantastic channel. As we're sitting here, and none of you are here. There's nobody. I'm not seeing any subscribers. No one talking, no one watching. I'm talking to myself. 2:15 left, 31-26. And one of the few times there was an unencumbered, unstopped sprint to the bucket. 31-28 Duke. 2 minutes left. And you're seeing Duke spread out the floor and try and set up a drive. And they're just not letting 3 points happen. Everything is contested in a game like this. Everything is contested. You have to find more ways to win that are perhaps outside what you'd expect in order to pull wins like this off at this round. You have to expand your arsenal of weaponry and do things you don't expect. Bearded wonder for Carolina not getting the shot to drop. And a Duke rebound with 1:37 left. Like we were just listening to the radio today. As Duke drains a 3 to make it 34-28. 1:23 left till the half. And we were listening to how in 1985, when Villanova upset Georgetown, maybe the biggest championship game upset ever in an NCAA tournament game. First of all, they shot 78% in the field to win that game. But the other part, as Carolina answers with a mid-range jumper near the top of the key to make it 34-30. Now we're starting to see the offenses pick up. And yet a steal by Carolina and a 3-on-2. Man, they're making an answer here at this point near the end of the first half, and Duke has to call a timeout. Duke only up 2. But Coach Rolly Massimino for Villanova trying to figure out some way to stop Patrick Ewing, who is the college basketball player of the year, with just a super dominant Georgetown team. He figured out that in the paint, Patrick Ewing hated to go to his left. And so he built a defense for that game that collapsed completely on Ewing's right and forced him to go to his left and made his life miserable that day. And it won him a championship. It won him a championship. That's what you have to do. You sometimes have to go outside what you would ever expect to do, and sometimes take risks to win titles. And that's what this team's doing. And none of you are watching because you're all watching Anthony. I love it. We'll keep this going, though. We will keep this going. I love that this game is happening, that it's these teams in this round with this much at stake, with Coach K's last go-round meaning something. This game just means so much for that reason. I think we should have a very interesting discussion perhaps during the second half, and I'll ask the boys this question about the greatest coach in the history of college basketball. We'll get their thoughts. Let me get your thoughts too, though. Best coach in college basketball history. Our most beloved coach is, of course, going to be Al McGuire, who led Marquette to the title in '77. He won a championship. Coach K's won 5 times that much. It could be 6. But he ain't John Wooden. He ain't John Wooden. They won 10. Let's see if I remember this correctly. 64, 65, 67 through 73. So that's technically 7 in a row. And then 75. 10 NCAA championships. Just ridiculous. And not just the championships, but winning 88 consecutive games. Just bonkers. Duke has never done that. I mean, they had teams that, you could argue the 68 team with Kareem and the 73 team with Bill Walton. two of the greatest teams in the history of college basketball. Both just so off the charts good. Those two could compete for the greatest ever in the history of the sport. Coach K never had teams like that. They had great teams. Oh, yes. But I still would put Wooden ahead of Coach K. But Coach K is easily on the Mount Rushmore, probably number 2 or number 3 in the history of the sport, by far. 34-32, 39.9 seconds left as Duke leads Carolina in the first half of the Superdome and the Final Four, the semifinals. To all who've joined us, thank you for popping on. I'm Jay. This is Flat Anthony, the kid. The reason why this channel exists, I wanted to do something in his wheelhouse, stuff that he loves. So we're doing this project together. As Carolina, the bearded wonder, Maddox has tied it up. 26.4 seconds left, 34 all. But Flat Anthony is what we have for the first half right now. The real Anthony will be back at halftime and during the second half for this, as right now he's talking on Stat Sheet Sports and Chicago Sports Network with a couple of his buds, and they're going to join us for the second half. That's going to be awesome. That is going to be awesome. Dave and Kathy, I have to ask you, since you've been in Arizona, you can go to some spring training games? Please tell me you have. Would love to see some of that. We got some baseball coming up too. I'm not going to say which games, but we have tickets so far for 3 and plans made to go to at least 11 games. And we need a lot more than that. The thing that the kid, John Jansen, saying, go St. Louis Cardinals, with respect and kindness, we'll disagree, but no hatred. We don't believe in tribalism with sports. But we've got plans. Oh, do we have plans for baseball this year? To finally be able to have a full season with safe stadiums, with, at least right now, the pandemic under control. And to have a year where we don't have to worry about a move with our family. We can go to a lot of games. It's so good. Last possession for Duke to try and take the lead before the half. Do we have an and one? We have an and one. Oh! Momentum taker into the locker room. And a ridiculous double clutch at the bucket. And a primal scream. This is what I love about basketball, too, is that, especially on television, because you can see their faces more than you can in any sport, the emotion is so visceral and available to you and in your face. 3-point lead for Duke. Half court shot. Nope. 37-34. Duke up at the half in Coach K's either last or second to last game as we enter halftime. The kid is wrapping up. Flat Anthony is wrapping up his live chat on Stat Sheet Sports and Chicago Sports Network for the first half. And he'll be joining us for the second half with those two guys joining us as we watch the second time that Tracy Wolfson has talked with Coach K here in the first half. The kind of interviews that when he was starting as a head coach, he probably would have never expected that he would have to do contractually.
Hello, everybody. And
Flat Anthony is being replaced by
the
real Anthony. That's going recycle bin. And yes, they have ended it.
Yes. They just ended. They'll be joining us for the second half. Oh, I love this big screen compared to my little Chromebook. We're going to get all our time in sync at the start of the second half. We had a little problems with time.
Okay.
So we'll get all that set up.
Now, when you say that, you mean?
Like getting the TV times in sync so that
I see.
They can be back with us with all that. We now have Stat Sheet Sports. And I'm guessing that they will join for the second half. Texas in the private chat. And here, check the thing.
Okay.
Let me go.
In fact, I'm gonna have you take over because I've been here the whole first half.
Okay.
Going solo, my voice needs a little bit of lubrication.
And then I'm gonna go get a little snack quick. Probably get a sandwich.
Nice.
That we had from earlier. So, hello to everyone. I am back. Glad to have all four of you in here. Stat Sheet Sports and Chicago Sports Network will be joining soon. And yeah. Let me go ahead. Change our ticker. Now you can see all of that. So, yeah, we are here. Great game so far, and glad for everyone to be with us. All 5 of you. Now, I was about to say 6, drop back down, but that is perfectly okay. As in the comments, where in the world is CL? Woo! Yes, I'm here. Daddy's upstairs. Just got off with Stat Sheet Sports, Chicago Sports Network. 2 great channels. Let me find the link I put in the chat earlier. I was kind of in between. So you can use that to find. That's just the stuff. We have people from the Grassy Ray. We have Yost Malone, Chris Learning. Where in the world is CL? Anthony Chimino, John Jansen, David Kathy Hyde. Earlier we had as well Mr. Chopsticks and Ranzer 12. So, yes. Hello, where in the world is CL? Glad to have you with us. Duke and Carolina. 3-point game at the half, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to get my computer ready, set up. As kind of our secondary screen, you could call it. Daddy's going to come back. I'm going to get a bite to eat. Thank you, Anthony Chimino. They do some great sports stuff. They actually had a stream earlier today. I caught talking about NFL mock drafts. We'll probably get into that a little bit. So yeah, make sure you go rewatch the stream, get them some watch hours, and make sure that we can get them to 1,000 subscribers. Just do that as soon as possible. Get that sub over there. They do some great stuff. They've got podcasts, and you can find all of that over on their channels. So, yeah, we're currently at the half. Let me know what I missed. I was trying to kind of stay in the chat. I heard a little bit of what Daddy was saying through the ceiling from the basement to upstairs. But do we like hockey? In person, yes. On TV, we really never watch it. We want to get to a Flyers game. We love the Milwaukee Admirals. And, yeah. This game is in the Big Easy. We're at Soldier Story Studios in Philadelphia, of course. So, man, I'm going to try to do something quick. Let's try this. I kind of noticed, if you can kind of tell, it's a little off balance. So we are going to try to fix that. Let's see. How's that looking? That's better. Okay. We're all good now. So, as soon as the second half starts, we're going to get all our time synced. Plenty of baseball coming for all of you. We're going to be going to games starting. It's crazy to think. Maybe next weekend. Just absolutely crazy. Probably starting next weekend, we're going to be heading to games. We've got a lot of plans to see the Brewster F Country, see some college baseball maybe, some minor league games, probably some independent ball too. It will be great to see all of that. Hopefully add to my collection of baseballs. Theo John, the former Marquette Golden Eagle, in this game for Duke. On the other side, Brady Manick, or as we call him, the Bearded Wonder. Go Cardinals. We won't hate you for your laundry. We're all good people. You know, John Jansen, we don't hate on anyone for who they root for. Good people sometimes root for are rivals, but that's fine. Just how it is. Rivalries are fun. So, yeah, the Brewers and the Cardinals, I think, had their first series in April or late April, early May, somewhere around there. You got Brewers Cubs coming up. That's going to be the Brewers' first games in Chicago, which will be great. So, Daddy's coming back again. 3-point game, 32-6. Number 2 seeded Duke beating number 8 seeded 28-9 North Carolina 37-34 at the half. Daddy, I'll let you take over.
All right, as the kid gets the break itself. Did you already respond to John Jansen talking hockey?
We are all. I said that we'd like it in person.
Yeah, it might be worth trying hockey, like for like a Stanley Cup Finals game.
Oh, I want Stanley Cup Finals.
That'd be fun.
On TV.
That would be
all
fun.
The time.
John, Brewers over the Cubs. Great thoughts there. And while we're sitting here, I'm just going to check to see if there is an opportunity for us to catch some NHL hockey before the Flyer season ends. Ooh, I'm not so sure we're going to have much of an opportunity. Maybe next week. Maybe. We'll see. What I do love, and we're going to get on the subject of this because we're watching basketball in a football stadium. I really love watching hockey in a baseball or football stadium when they do the Stadium Series games. That's an experience. And I remember watching, I wasn't at these games, but when the University of Wisconsin hosted hockey games at Camp Randall Stadium and at Lambeau Field, that's massive. And by the way, I love that Lambeau is going to be hosting Bayern Munich versus Manchester United. I love that. And as a Philadelphian, I am definitely in support. The next time that the Eagles build a new stadium, stick a roof on it. Stick a retractable roof on that stadium so that they can host a Super Bowl here, host a Final Four here. There are few more sports-loving cities than Philly. You're mentioning, John, your St. Louis Blues playing the Calgary Flames and talking about Stadium Series and Winter Classic games. Yes, by far. I will never forget, especially talking about the Winter Classic, the game between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Detroit Red Wings at Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor, Michigan. 110,000 people for hockey. As big of a crowd as the biggest basketball crowd in history. The NBA All-Star Game at Jerry World. 110,000 people for basketball. Oh, man. I just get jacked up at the idea of being able to go to a game like that. That's why Philly, the next time you build a replacement for Lincoln Financial Field, down in the stadium district down there, because you got the parking lots that you can build over and build a new stadium over, time after time after time, build a football stadium with a roof. Make it big, but build it with a roof, retractable roof. Host the Super Bowl, host the Final Four. This town can do it and show itself off. Nick the Legend, Nick the Quick, joining us. What is up? Yes. The real Anthony will be joining us second half. In fact, joining us in a few minutes. In fact, joining us in a few seconds. In fact, joining us now. CL! Yeah. Oh my gosh! Christine Lozada. Go check out her channel. Unsolicited plug. She's doing a cruise later on from Miami. Go sign up for her cruise if you love cruises.
I just came down, really came down. Say what up to my boy Nick. Birthday coming up. Happy early birthday.
And Christine, you're actually someone to really get to chat about this right now. This game is being played in New Orleans at the Superdome. You were just there. Tell us the awesomeness of New Orleans. Tell us how cool the place that is. Someday we want to check out some basketball in that place. So cool to see you in this chat. And yes, the Superdome at night on the outside is just ridiculous. I love the lights of the Superdome, especially when they show night games like this. In itself is an awesome, awesome site. Go subscribe to her. She's been a supporter of ours for so long. She's been with us. And by the way, she also has some fantastic podcasts and vlogcasts about overcoming fears and about living a life that's beyond your struggles. The Bad Bleepery podcast is we keep it a family channel here, but it's great. It's great stuff. Thank you, CL. You are a blast. You are an absolute blast. But yeah, New Orleans is fantastic for so many reasons. We want to go check basketball out there, see our Bucks play the Pelicans, maybe someday especially see our Green Bay Packers take on the New Orleans Saints in what is the most fun atmosphere, one of the most fun atmospheres in the NFL. But the nightlife, the food is ridiculous. So if we would ever bump into UCL, yeah, we would probably have to make sure the kid's in bed before Anana Mommy and I would party with you at night. I would also need the nap that I took today to be able to last, as well as the iced coffee, because we're going to have a night of editing after this. But my gosh, another great event to check out if you're ever in New Orleans for sports is the weekend of Thanksgiving is always the Bayou Classic. It is Division I AA, or as they call it, FCS football. Two of the great historic black colleges playing college football at the Superdome. Grambling versus Southern, two Louisiana schools with so much history. Grambling University, they have the great Eddie Robinson as head football coach there. They had so many great NFL players go through there. Willie Davis of the Green Bay Packers, Pro Football Hall of Famer. Buck Buchanan, Doug Williams. And that's just the tip of the iceberg of the great players that played there. But the atmosphere for that game is as crazy, as lit as any college football game you will enjoy. Especially if you love good marching bands. Those two bands blow any out of the water in America. Ohio State Band, nowhere near. These bands blast them. Absolutely blast them. It is all the pomp and circumstance and energy of New Orleans in a football stadium that takes the soul and passion of Louisiana. And it's so much fun. So if you ever travel to New Orleans for Thanksgiving, or you ever want to do something fun after your family Thanksgiving, go to New Orleans, go to that game. It's bonkers. I love watching it every year when they show it. I think it's on NBC Sports Network every year, which no longer exists, but I'm sure they're going to have it on like the USA Network. But that is so fun of an atmosphere. It's why New Orleans, again, is one of the great big sporting event cities of America, and why they outpunch their weight class when it comes to a city of that size. Yes, Christine Lozada, go. New Orleans, Thanksgiving, and get tickets to that game and go. Even if you're not a football fan, just to enjoy the atmosphere.
Go for the music.
And yes, go for the music. We want to go to Jazz Fest so bad. I'm a big time fan of the Dirty Dozen Brass Band. that combination of jazz and funk. Oh, I'm all over it. I'm all over it. And even just today, beforehand, the funk side of things, I was listening to some James Brown. Go listen to the song There Was a Time by James Brown. Listen to that, especially from his live performance in Boston in 1968. It is audio coffee. It is audio coffee. It will energize you for the next 2 hours. So I highly recommend that. You, kid, have gotten used to me loving James Brown. Are you there yet with James Brown?
I don't listen to much of it.
I'm gonna have to get you up on that. We're gonna have to watch that documentary about that James Brown Boston concert. I was just telling our crowd about how cool New Orleans is, especially.
I heard it. I was yelling down.
Oh, that's right. That is right.
I heard the door was open. I was eating a sandwich and some water. Yeah, Nick, 2 hours that I'll be there.
And we will soon have our buds, your buds especially, Stat Sheet Sports, Chicago Sports Network, to talk second half.
Yes, we're almost to the second half. So yeah, thank you to all 4 of you in here.
I got a feeling that is going to get bigger.
Yes, as this game gets even better, 3-point game. My final score prediction was 86-83 Tar Heels.
They're going to have to pick it up in the second half of that because they played such a dour, defensive, and boring first half.
That's true. And Stat Sheet Sports and Chicago Sports Network, we all picked UNC. Stat Sheet Sports and I went in normal regulation, but Chicago Sports Network went double OT. In the 95-91, something like that.
Think about this. The idea of the 2 biggest rivals in college basketball in a Final Four in what could be Coach K's last game going to double overtime.
We will be going into Nick's birthday.
Happy birthday, Nick, by the way.
Yes, in 2 hours, as we said. Yeah, I had to come down for... I mentioned everyone else in the chat, but when I heard that Nick was in,
Oh, yeah.
That's my boy. We were talking last night about the Sixers, and in fact, we saw an interesting today. We'll see a video about it. We saw a pretty funny shirt of James Harden's beard in a sports shop.
I love that.
He had his beard on it. As they said for the Brewers when we had Eric Thames, fear the beard.
Yes. Eric Thames, former Milwaukee Brewer, who had the best beard in baseball back in the day.
And we now have Stat Sheet Sports and Chicago.
What's going on?
Joining us.
Guys, thank you.
Yes.
All right. What's going on?
How are you guys?
This one. Okay, this one.
Finally, we get to do something together. Love this.
Yeah,
There we
definitely.
go. Yes.
So what are your guys' thoughts on the beginning of this UNC Duke game? I know we've heard Anthony's thoughts, but what about yours?
It was like pulling teeth in the beginning. Absolute like pulling teeth in the beginning. I can tell you that a lot of our audience has not necessarily been as highly tuned into the moment of the game, but they sometimes enjoy just watching us.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to hear as much of the commentary itself, but I can tell you that it felt like they were probing and testing each other in the first few minutes, and they were incredibly nervous. I think the pressure of the moment, I think, got to them. And they just needed to start playing basketball and just forget the fact that they were playing with 80,000 people around them in the second biggest game of their season and just play the game. And I think once they got to that, you started to see the offenses open up a bit and shooters get back into their gear. I also think that you just haven't seen Duke give Carolina anything in the paint. You saw that stat that just came up. I mean, that lockdown defense by Duke has been huge.
Yeah, and their field goals, only 1 for 4 from like
the top of the arc, as we have Aaron Ruby coming over from Chicago Sports Network and
Hey!
Woo Big! A big Arkansas fan there.
Thank you for popping over.
Yeah.
Aaron.
And I don't know about you, but on our stream we did our score prediction and winner. So who did you have winning this one?
Is that what you guys were talking about with the white space?
Yeah. That way we can see everyone.
Cool.
There we
Now we
go.
can see you guys
That
better.
works. That works. So, let's see. Aaron Ruby mentioning the earlier posterization.
Yeah.
I got to tell you something, too. When you have a posterizing dunk in a Final Four, the background of the shot is just even so much more exciting because of the size of the crowd. That's going to live forever.
That's true.
Oh yeah.
As we are now underway.
So we're at 9:52 right now on clock.
Okay, yeah, we're a little ahead at 19:07.
We're 9:40
Okay.
something now.
So we're going to see reactions from you before they come for us.
Well, we'll try.
We'll try and keep it no reactions until
Yeah.
we hear y'all react.
Yeah. Unless if there's like something crazy, we'll probably keep it where we don't react.
We get it.
Like fans coming out of the stands and like,
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
We might react then.
Yeah. If there's, I think Kevin Harlan's on this broadcast. If we have another one of Kevin Harlan's moments of the fan running on the field during the Super Bowl, I think we'll.
Yeah, I think he's on the radio call.
yeah, he's a Westwood One guy.
Yeah, and he is great. Actually from Wisconsin.
Milwaukee born, lived in Green Bay as his dad was the president of the Packers.
And
Oh wow.
went to Kansas.
And it's an even
He's probably happy.
more hard-nosed play down below.
Oh man.
Little bit of an acting job there, but that was a legitimate pounding with the elbow as well.
No doubt.
Yeah. So, yeah, we were talking a little bit when we were on our channel to let you know that the bald-headed UNC coach that keeps getting up that isn't Hubert Davis was my dad's old neighbor. His dad used to be the athletic director at Illinois State, which was the local university.
When you get to 1750, it's the guy that is walking over to sit down, the bald white guy, third from the left on the
Thunder
UNC
dunked,
bench.
by the way, at 1845 or so. My gosh.
John.
Okay.
Why don't we do this? I'm going to skip back and we'll play from there. How about that?
Yeah. So what's your clock at now?
1825.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, we just started it. We're like right at 1822, so we
We're
went
just
back.
skipping it back and playing it from there. So
John
we'll-
Ruby, who I
That
think-
way we'll be right with you
I
guys.
think he's somewhere in the background for you guys saying go Niners and go Tar Heels.
Yep, there he is.
Yeah.
For our audience that's used to us, go subscribe to these guys.
Yeah.
Go subscribe to Stat Sheet Sports, Chicago Sports Network.
Yeah, we're really excited to be on here. I'm sure that this is going to be a fun second half, and it's going to come down to the wire. And I think all of us kind of agree on that. It's gonna be a fun game.
This game needs to come down to the wire because that's the story that should happen.
Yeah, this needs to be a nail biter. Like Reichley predicted, double overtime win for UNC. That would be great.
I would love to see a double overtime game. If you have that, that's not only an all-time classic hype of a matchup,
Big shot.
but also just it lived up to what it was supposed to be, kind of the way Notre Dame and Clemson was in 2020, that fall matchup. The only disappointing part is you didn't have fans in the stands. It really reminds you this year about the fans in the stands. It's so fun and so critical.
We miss that so much. So cool that it's back. Christine Lozada, we're in the world of CL with, I'm not sure if she was reacting to that three-pointer that just made it a 41-40 game for Duke as Carolina hit the three, but she goes, woo!
Yeah, North Carolina they need to come out big here as Manic with the three.
David and Wonder.
Yeah, so we have
And speaking of fans in the stands, I was talking with Anthony the other day, and he was telling me y'all have a bunch of Brewers road trips coming up very soon.
This
So I'm sure y'all were very excited to hear the MLB was going to be back.
Yes. Carolina's on a run, 45-41.
Man, you
Yeah.
see Carolina.
The fans going nuts.
Yeah, we had the light blue fans going nuts, and the dark blue fans are very disappointed.
Dour, highly. And this is the type of momentum shifting
Exactly.
run that Carolina has just figured out how to make
Mhm.
game after game in like the last
Exactly.
8 or 9 games. It's like go ahead.
I was just going to say it's going to be important for whoever plays Kansas because my dad had Kansas winning the tournament in our the bracket challenge, and he pointed out a good point. Kansas, they're a good shooting team with good bigs down below, so it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game to win, but definitely one that they're going to both need to bring their A game. Whoever wins this game moves on to the Natty.
Future President of the United States, Bobby POTUS, being mentioned. Arkansas by Aaron Ruby, the Arkansas.
And John winning the bracket challenge. Congratulations.
It was
I'd like to say I won the Sorgy Story bracket challenge. I think was the final one. I didn't win the stat sheet one, but I did win the Sorgy.
Oh man, I forgot to join that one. Is that one still available to join?
You'd still lose.
CL, thanks for popping in. Thank you for showing up.
in.
Everyone, go subscribe to her channel. Fantastic travel content. You're going to see a lot of blue water and great vacation spots.
I really like this baby blue we got going. That's giving a good thing with the comments.
The Marquette champion.
Who is that? Is that where in the world is CL?
Yep.
Okay, I'll go subscribe to her right now.
Yeah, go join up with her. Great content. And you can start planning your travels for, especially once you get to college age and beyond. Great spring break ideas.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm going to subscribe to her now.
Last year.
We had similar brackets.
Yeah.
And we at first kind of did our joint bracket picks, but then after we both went back and did our research, it ended up, as Nick is saying, this game is going to be close to that. We had similar picks, and I had Wisconsin beating Kansas in the Elite Eight. That pick did not age well.
Yeah, nothing of Wisconsin aged well from that state.
Essentially,
my alma mater getting destroyed, and the Badgers losing in the second round in Milwaukee, no less.
The other two teams from Wisconsin didn't even make the tournament. UW Green Bay.
Yeah, they wouldn't.
UWM.
They were now. It's hard to see in the shadows, but tell me the jersey you got on.
It's Peachtree Atlanta Hawks John Collins jersey.
Oh, sweet, classic stuff.
Yes.
Hopefully we can get him back in time for the playoffs. I think we just beat the Nets, so that's a good pickup win right there.
Yeah, we were watching that game right before the UNC and Duke came back on. That was a big game there for both teams. Oh man,
yeah. Bucks. The Sixers won. The Bucks sitting at that 2 seed. Bulls gonna win the NBA championship. We'll see about that.
He thinks so too.
No, I don't. I think it's probably going to come down to I think you can't pick against the Suns this year. I think Chris Paul's going to win his NBA championship. I can't pick against them. I think that they're going to win it.
What's your view of Phoenix versus Memphis in the West? Because Memphis to me looks dangerous.
That's true.
Well, to be honest, I think if John Morant's out, it works out better for him. I think so.
Wow.
I think they're 16-2 without John Morant playing. So even though it's a little bit of a joke, it almost seems like you may want to have John Morant. I don't know. So we'll see.
Someone tell Tom we're talking college basketball here.
We should tell people here this is the Final Four. Carolina over Duke right now, 47-44, 15-23 left first half on our screen. Similar to what's on your screen. But, yeah, I mean, as an Eastern Conference follower over here with the Bucks and with the Sixers being here in town, I mean, to me, that would be such a ridiculous 7-game series. But the winner's going to have to play probably Phoenix or Memphis.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. I agree with that one.
because the Warriors, they've really fallen off, and I think that the East is very undecided. Like, you could have the Nets be an 8 seed and become win the whole thing. Is very possible, but you could also have a team like the Suns, who were the best team in the NBA, win it. So there is a wide variety throughout the tournament. So
I'll be right back. I can't see the screen, so I'm going to get some pillows to sit up on so I'm able to actually see what's happening.
And I have to ask John and Aaron Ruby, what are meals like for you when it comes to the holidays?
Here, we'll have our dad come on here. Dad, come on.
This is Shocking Ball, everyone. Woo! Go Niners!
So what are some of the holiday meals?
Sorgy stories, how are you guys doing?
Doing fantastic.
Yes.
The kid is getting
There we go. Now I can
accentuated with his with some pillows to help him see the game screen a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you mentioned holidays, and it's definitely a sensitive subject because Aaron likes to just eat. He doesn't help out with the dishes or anything. All he does is just lay on the floor after he eats and talks about how full he is, while the rest of the family is out trying to clean up the dishes.
No, you guys all go out for Black Friday or something and then don't buy anything.
Yeah, well, that's my sister. So we'll go shopping on Black Friday. We'll forget her, and we'll come home, and she'll be calling and ask us where we go.
You'll be looking at Target or something.
So
that's what I love about our sports lives sometimes, because they sometimes evolve or devolve into everything from discussions of family, holidays, to pillow fights.
Stop. Just stop.
No pillow fights this round, but our last one.
If it goes into double overtime, pillow fight the whole overtime.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And we're just going to continue this
Look,
live.
yeah, Aaron talks about being twice my size, and that would be true on the horizontal. The horizontal, he is definitely twice my size.
So classic.
You snap! When you gotta do that, bro? Woo!
So let's explain this really quickly. My dad was 5 foot his senior year of high school, so he wasn't wrong because his brother is 6'7" his senior year of high school. So there was a big gap between them.
But I can still beat you, bro. I shape and bake you every day at those courts. Oh, I went this way. Oh, I get that way. And
The only athletic accomplishment you have, Dad, is going to the state championship in wrestling in the 90-pound bracket in middle school.
It was the 65-pound bracket. And while I got a few buys to get there, I'll take them.
Just like in boxing, if your opponent's super tall, make him taller. If your opponent's super short, make him shorter.
Yeah,
that's how you win.
Well,
that is how you win. And we're back to action with 47-44. The Carolina lead over Duke, and a missed free throw. This brings up the best ways to, and it's kind of hard in the stadium setting to make it hard to deflect the attention of a free throw shooter because you don't really see the student section.
Yeah.
The most effective time that I've ever been part of making it hard for a free throw shooter was when I went to a Marquette DePaul road game. And there were like 3,000 people in a 17,000 seat arena. So it was already super quiet. Second half, the DePaul free throw shooter
I love this story.
were all just super silent until the very moment that he goes to shoot the ball. Ah! He got 30% the second half in the line.
Wow. That is impressive from the fans. And I was talking to Lincoln about it. It's like whenever you have a bunch of noise all at once, you get used to it. It just kind of becomes white noise and just like you don't notice it. But if you wait and then at the last second, it's hard to get that used to that in your mind.
Exactly.
I try to scream to the level of when Mariah Carey hits high notes. when the emotion grows.
Oh, we got video of that,
Yes.
and it works.
It does work.
Oh, we got a Carolina player hurt.
That's Baycott.
Ooh,
man.
that's Baycott. I think that's the third one on Mark Williams. It looks like he got him in the eye. His left eye is what it looked like.
Right on the nose.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of a flop job.
I love
the chat is so hysterical as we do have a Final Four game.
47-45 to 14-15 left second half. Oh man,
you guys are gonna have to be moderated at some point.
Yeah, we're okay now, but yeah, we'll definitely get to that stage at this point. Once we consistently have double-digit viewers on our lives,
we have 7 currently.
I think we'll probably reach that.
And we're gonna probably get double-digit here soon because this game is such a good one. 47-45 Tar Heels are winning, and now I lost the mouse. There we go.
Let me get it going. I'm gonna get y'all's live stream. Me and Reichler are getting it going on ours too.
Sweet, we appreciate that. All right, what's the T-shirt that you got on, Dad?
Mine?
Who you representing?
It's Michigan.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, Nick.
Northern Michigan.
Northern Michigan. Nice. Hockey power.
It's M22. It's a highway in Michigan.
Okay. Nice.
I'm just simply representing my high school.
Let me turn it down.
Excellent.
I'm just simply recommending my high school over here. So, yeah, we struggled last night in baseball, so that wasn't that much fun.
Nick, I'm about to add you as a mod. Nick the Legend, Nick the Quick.
And we just double-digited. Thanks, everybody, for helping joining us here now.
Hey, make sure if you haven't already make sure you hit that like button on this live stream. Let's see if we can get some more likes here. I'm sure that not everyone is liked, so make sure you hit that like button down below and hit that subscribe button.
And everybody subscribe to Chicago Sports Network and to Stat Sheet Sports as well.
Yeah, we've been trying. I've been watching y'all's videos, trying to help y'all hit that 4K watch hours.
Appreciate it.
Big time appreciate that. We probably need to do daily updates on Instagram with that.
We should. We gotta get this. You want me to add Nick as a mod?
Sure.
Okay, let's get.
Ooh, a big dunk from Mark Williams.
Okay, let's go, Nick. You're modded. Just don't go crazy. Oh, you essentially know how we roll here. Get rid of the bots.
The Thunder Dunks are always even more an emotion builder and a momentum builder, which leads to points later on. So that's why so often they're more important than the 2 points you get on the scoreboard. Steal.
You going the other way?
Oh my God.
What a move in the pace.
Wow, I thought I was about to be blocked. Coach K is happy.
Oh, he's getting excited. He's getting excitable.
Coach K getting happy.
Hey, we got a subscriber here on Stat Sheet Sports. Thank you. I think that's
John Jansen. Yeah, thank you a lot. I really appreciate it.
Awesome.
Hey, St. Louis Cardinals.
We got a 3-ball here from North Carolina, making it a 1-point North Carolina lead.
This is what we were missing the first half.
Yes.
Especially early in the first half.
I'm going to need the double overtime in order to get to the 95-91 thing, but we may even need a triple overtime for that.
I got the iced coffee ready. If we this is back and forth.
This was
this is what we've all been looking for.
By the way, if any of you guys have a YouTube channel, just let us know, and we'll be sure to go subscribe to you as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yep, we subscribe. Make sure that we're helping everyone out here. We have a great community here. I think on all 3 of our channels, it's really great to see everyone getting together. As Manic right across from the North Carolina bench as it erupts. The Duke bench ain't happy, and Coach K does not enjoy it either. But they're coming up with the ball, as we'll see. North Carolina's 5 for 6 from 3 land today in the second half as Paulo Banchero works on Trevor Manic.
So let's a Cubs fan. We have Cubs fans, Brewers fans, and Cardinals fans, and Phillies fans all in the chat here.
Cardinal fans. Oh, I can't be in the same chat room with the Cardinal fan.
You lived in the same neighborhood as everyone else was a Cardinal.
You got to get rid of the Cardinal fan.
I'll just quickly interrupt. We're tied at 55.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're at Coach K's mad hitting the floor.
Yeah, Coach K's an entertaining coach to watch. So
That's all. I'll be back in a sec. I'll be back in 1 second.
Nick, you don't even know this. I actually got a Phillies hat today, so that's cool.
Hey, we're all the way up to 16 likes here. Let's see if we can get to 20. Let's keep it up here, guys.
Yes.
I'll be right back. I'm going to stick some links in the
Alrighty.
for you guys here in the comments. Hang on.
So, as Aaron Ruby says, I saw McGuire hit 62. John Ruby, it's fine. He's a good Cardinals fan. As we say on almost every stream, we don't hate people for the laundry. You know, we have Cubs fans in the chat. If that we have Cubs fans right here. If it tells you anything, but
What?
we
Cub fans.
We're Brewers fans. So, but we don't hate. But we're, I'm cool with you guys. So
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. That's good.
That's
to know.
good. Because it's good to know because we'll be beating you in the division then. So, yeah.
Opening the season, Bruce Cubs. That'll be an interesting one.
Hey, John, make sure you don't unsubscribe because I will be putting out MLB power rankings. So, I'm pretty unfair and I'm pretty unfair. I'm not pretty unfair. I'm pretty unbiased. So make sure that you're subscribed for that because I just put out my MLB predictions. So, Anthony, what do you think about the incoming MLB season? Who do you think wins the Central? Because I think we're all mostly Central fans here, except for whatever Lincoln likes in the NL East, but they're not competing. So,
yeah, I see it being the Brewers barely holding on, and I think the Cubs and Cardinals will fight for a wild card spot.
Yeah, I think that it's likely that this division, I have the Cubs winning it. It probably is just my Cubs bias, to be honest. But okay, we're doing the la 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 thing.
No, that was the snail.
Oh, the snail. You know you're like 40, Dad, and not a teenager.
Should I tell some jokes?
You can tell by your hairline.
I can tell some jokes.
Oh, Nick, so Rickley, Lincoln, and I.
Yeah, Nicholas. Just so you know, if you don't already know this, Phillies, we call Kyle Schwarber Bam Bam. So I nicknamed him that in the 2015 wild card game against the Pittsburgh Pirates. So my nickname for Kyle Schwarber is Bam Bam. So if he ever hits a home run, which he'll hit plenty in the Bam box, that is the Phillies stadium. You just call him Bam Bam.
Yeah. Whoever's the Phillies fans.
No, let's show that. I love this discussion.
Yeah.
We now have pinned, by the way, everyone who's watching, the Statute Sports American Sports Network YouTube channel and the Chicago Sports Network YouTube channel links. Go to the links, subscribe to these guys. They have been so amazing. With this little man.
I just in the comment in the chat, Aaron Ruby saying your dad's nickname is Dwayne.
If you can repin the links though, eventually. But yeah, that is a brilliant response.
Yeah, well.
Nick, our new moderator, I think you know. I think you know what to do.
Oh my gosh! If you're that Duke player who saved the basketball underneath his own defensive basket, and it went right to a Carolina blue guy who just popped it right in.
Nick, you're
man,
Thank you
very much.
I just saw the replay.
You're
take that. Boom.
It would, if YouTube holds it for review, it's just so that if it happens that there's an inappropriate word, but that's fine. So don't worry about that. You're fine. Go Bam Bam. We love them. Yeah. For our mod, Nick, just get rid of the.
Yeah, get rid of bots. Get rid of unclean language.
And get rid of Muhammad Ali's show. I can't wait to see when the great grandson comes on because Nick, I think as Lincoln said a while ago, Stat Sheet Sports, you said about that Nick is a legend just for saying that he is a legend.
Yeah. So, and then other thing I want to say to John real quickly, I don't all just follow Chicago sports, but I named it that just because that's my team's base is all Chicago. So, but I follow NFL, NBA. I make predictions for pretty much anything. So if you love sports, I do pretty much any sports, MLB, NFL, NBA, stuff like that. So
This momentum shift with Carolina has just been monstrous.
Yes.
Just monstrous. You're seeing so few uncontested layups. They have to earn every shot.
They missed the 3 there. Duke gets the rebound.
just the offensive rebounding from North Carolina has been so proficient this game.
Yeah.
Nick is
Appreciate the sub, Nick.
Nick's about to become a legend on your guys' channel too. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow, Nick. I hope so. Depending on everything going on, because it is Nick's birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday!
Woo!
Oh yeah, congratulations! Happy birthday.
Yes. We
All right.
and I know that there will be some sadness on Monday with Nova being out.
You got it.
Thank you, Mr. John Ruby, for
John, awesome. John
coming
Jansen,
in.
thank you.
It was my pleasure. My pleasure. I appreciate you guys having me on.
You sound you sound like you're working at a Chick-fil-A. You
John, thank
sound like
you.
you're working at a Chick-fil-A now.
62-57 Carolina.
Yes. We had a fantasy baseball draft earlier. Lincoln, pleasure doing business with you. Getting there, Tawny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I was mad that I offered, I think, Garrett Cole and Javi Baez. I'm gonna have to do a couple more things.
Oh, that guy didn't accept it for Harper.
And the guy who who was on auto draft.
No.
Oh,
The guy who was on auto draft hasn't accepted my first trade yet. So yes, 62-57, 5-point game. Tar Heels lead.
I have to ask John Ruby, can he do the Saturday Night Live doubles dance?
Okay. Do we have a
what?
Hey, say that again?
Can he do the Saturday Night Live doubles grass skirt dance?
Oh, the Bears. I can do the Bears. The Ditka versus God. Who do you think will win that one? I'm gonna have to give it to.
It's close, but
it's
Ditka's
close.
mustache
Ditka's
is
mustache can definitely maybe 500 to 32 God, I guess.
I tried to educate you on our third video that we ever did. We actually were outside Ditka's restaurant in Chicago, and I introduced that part of it with Ditka in a flood versus Plant Flood Ditka.
Oh man,
that's a good one.
Those Saturday Night Live skits with the Bears stuff. That's just some good. That's some good entertainment there. That's some good entertainment.
Bears.
But I specifically was hoping that John could do the doubles grass skirt dance from when Chris Farley had a grass skirt on. The episode when Michael Jordan was on with them, and he was wearing a way too tight Jordan jersey. And at the end of the skit, stood up and went, stop.
Bobby, I think Bobby Portis might win in the jump shot competition.
In specifically in the jump shot competition.
Oh yeah.
If we're that would be pretty close there. That's be an interesting one. That'd be a fun one. So we'll see.
Have you ever been to Ditka's in Chicago?
No, we haven't. We've been to a lot of places in Chicago because we lived in Central Illinois for a little while, but we had never been to Ditka's restaurant, mostly because when we were in Chicago, we were in the western suburbs of if anybody knows where Elmhurst is, or what's another city there? Wheaton, stuff like that. That's the area.
All right, got a couple things for you then.
Yeah.
First of all, the restaurant's insane. I took you there maybe your first or second trip to Chicago when he was like 2.
Yeah.
And
I think we're gonna have a consecutive streak. We're trying to work on our consecutive streak on going to Chicago every year, and it's been going every year of my life essentially.
But the mac and cheese there was world class. You fell in love with that. I love their barbecue, their ribs. Their ribs are worth double the ridiculous price you're going to pay.
Well,
So freaking good.
I will say this. We both live in a small town in South Carolina. I will say this. There is a place called Smokin' Pig, and if you ever get down in this area, a place called Smokin' Pig, world-class barbecue. It is so awesome. They have great ribs. I generally get either their brisket or their chicken, but that either looked like goaltending or something.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's true.
you would have an argument there.
Yeah.
Somebody hit the rim. Somebody hit the rim without the basketball or something.
And
That's right, because we're actually talking about a basketball game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Baycott went for the dunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Bankero hit the ball, and then Baycott still got it. Okay.
But yeah, with y'all doing y'all's food videos, y'all should come down, watch a Clemson game, and get some Smoking Pig sometime.
Yeah.
that I told them, I said we're gonna have to do a road trip back-to-back weeks, Clemson and Georgia. Two great
Yeah.
programs and two great
Just great environments too. Both are great college towns that are average city-wise in the sense that they're not a super big city. The college is what they are. Both in Athens and Clemson are both great college towns.
I mean, we probably would need to find out a time when you're going to be off on a Friday and a Monday to be able to pull that off.
Maybe. Well, we're gonna, but I'm excited to get back down south twice. Head down to Charlotte and
we got a steal here from Duke. Oh, he misses the layup, but we got a
man!
I think that might have been a pass.
On that layup.
He missed that layup so bad. That might have been a pass there.
Man, Keels has been silent all game long. I didn't even remember he was playing. A really bad pass from North Carolina.
Oh.
No,
I can't tell if he lost it or if it was a pass.
That may have been a pass.
I don't know. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I would definitely say that one too. Plus, he just lost control on the finger roll attempt.
I think that's what it looked like. Is he just lost the ball going up?
Yeah, this game is going really back and forth. Oh, big thing for what's their name that I can't think of?
Tar Heels.
The Tar Heels. RJ Davis has 4 fouls. That's a big
what a way
thing.
to avoid the charge by Love right there.
Just a beautiful
what a shot.
And so we talked about this on their stream. It'll be interesting to be in North Carolina, Carolina's biggest city in the aftermath
because
if one of these teams wins it all, we're gonna be down south twice in like 2 months, which will be great. Charlotte and on the shore, it'll be awesome.
These comments are making me slobber.
Yes.
Barbecue.
Oh, by the way, Aaron, I did cut my hair right before Christmas. I cut my hair.
A lot of kids down in South Carolina with the rise of Coastal Carolina had the
mullets,
the long hair and stuff like that, and now everybody's starting to cut it back and stuff since Coastal Carolina isn't as prominent. But during quarantine,
I didn't have anything with Coastal Carolina. The mullets everywhere just came back.
Yeah, it's true, but like Coastal Carolina helped push that a little bit.
Dude's up 65, 64, 6:30 or so left.
Yes. Oh, look at Davis trying to get a good shot at ball handling.
And Duke's just lockdown defense here.
Davis is number 4, right?
Just lockdown.
I think so.
Again, anytime you drive to the hole, you are going to get.
Yeah, just great with not reaching in, but at the same time being able to use your ability to get that ball.
Wow.
I
Fantastic job of reaching around without causing a foul.
Yeah, I remember that you do have a jam. You told me that you're getting that hard injured. Can't wait to see you. I wonder what it's going to be. We were talking about that the other night. What a game. To share history with sources.
If
everyone who didn't hear this when I was on with them earlier on Stat Sports and Chicago Sports Network, this is the first time they've met in the tournament.
Yes, that's a ridiculous thing.
And they've met in the NIT before, but never the NCAA tournament. They've met in conference tournaments in the Big Four tournament,
Oh,
or as it used to be known as the Dixie Classic.
the Bearded Wonders block there. That replay just bonkers.
Yes.
Oh wow! So it was the entire NCAA tournament. I thought it was just Final Four. I didn't know. I didn't realize it was the entire tournament.
No,
They
yeah.
never played before this year or before this game in the tournament.
And they almost
Wow,
always guarantee that they make sure that they're never in the same region.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And this, Chris Learning, thank you for being one of our most awesome supporters.
Yes.
And by the way, big time love to those who have made the Basketball Hall of Fame. Those announcements coming today.
Bob Huggins, or he came last night, I think. But
That's right. Bob Huggins, the coach of West Virginia, former Cincinnati coach, your Cincinnati Bearcats, former Bucks coach, two different former Bucks coaches. Talking about Larry Costello, the coach of the 71 Bucks. Go look them up. I know Chicago Sports Network, you are a 96 Bulls aficionado, and imagine you would probably call them the best team in the history of the NBA. These 71 Bucks would give them a run.
I think those Warriors team from a couple years
That's
ago would
true.
also give them a run.
Nick saying Tim Hardaway as well, the first Tim Hardaway.
Yes.
And who else? Wasn't there a guy from the Spurs?
Oh, I'd have to look at the full list.
I forget.
Oh, Manu Ginobili. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Duke missed
there's
And a wide.
Baycott just went out of the game, quote unquote. He's in the stands,
Baycott?
jumping up and down with his
Oh,
foot
man.
hurt. That is
Oh.
big. That is big news. It
Oh.
looks, to my opinion, I really don't want to be the pessimist, but that looks like it's ACL, knee, like something in that general area is what he's pulling
I
at.
didn't see him go live.
No, that's a rolled ankle.
Well, why is he grabbing at his knee?
Because you
None
don't
of us
grab
are
your
doctors,
ankle
nor
if
Yeah,
your
did
ankle's hurting.
I
we
know.
at a Holiday Inn Express last night. So don't take our word.
You can't go out in
for it.
public. You act like you ain't got no sense.
Oh, shut up.
If
Well,
there
that's big for North Carolina. You got to keep him in. That's a big.
No, he's
player.
done.
We're
done.
currently
Well,
working on
yeah.
getting this
Back out there.
thing back as oh man,
we got some limping.
we're seeing him getting helped up.
Yeah, he's struggling. He's going to need assistance to the sidelines.
Yeah, I think he's done definitely for this game. Probably even the rest of the tournament if North Carolina somehow finds a way to win.
Well,
here.
it looks like he's going to try to do it on his own strength here, but the two bench players are going to come help him off. That is big news for the rest of this game as
And
Baycott
I
has
was in
just
a
been
game-
an offensive rebounding machine.
Yeah, in a game like this too, I guarantee you his heart is going to want to get back into this game no matter how much pain he goes through.
He's such a key piece to the team, but there doesn't look like he's
But
going back to the
That,
locker room.
I mean, but the thing is, and it's a circumstance like that, you can hurt your team by being in that.
Correct.
Yeah, we saw that with Trae Young last year against the Bucks.
I remember that too, in fact, in a Gonzaga Carolina championship game, I want to say from a few years ago. I think they were playing Carolina in that game.
Yeah.
I forget who it was, but he tried to play late in the game for Gonzaga. And Mark, if you trusted him, he's like, hey, you want this opportunity? I'm going to give you that chance. And he simply was not effective. And it cost Gonzaga the game in the national championship that year.
Yeah, I'll say this. I have personal experiences of me playing basketball where one of the kids had the flu and just turned the ball over and over and over again and really should not have been playing, but he was the coach's son, so the coach wanted to keep him in. But he just should not have been playing because he was sick. But, yeah, so
They call
Duke with both free throws coming up, made the first one, hit the second one as well, and now has a 2-point lead with 5:18 left in this game.
Oh, I think we're ahead of you now. We're at 4:56.
Okay, well,
we'll
we'll move.
Yeah, we tried to get where we were about the same as y'all. So y'all have Manic shooting free throws.
You
Yep.
just missed the first.
Okay.
Okay.
He was there getting the ball, passing it back to the refs.
Okay. I think we're still just barely behind y'all.
And
All right.
We'll let you know. He's
Second-
number 2. So
He missed number 2. Is that what you said?
yep.
2-point lead in the ball, 4:54 left.
And Baycott's back.
Oh my gosh.
And he's running. Well, jogging.
He's back in there. He is he's such a big piece to the team. And
Oh, wow. A big no call there as Carolina's pushing it up the
Yeah.
court and down. Oh, and they called a foul on the other end.
Oh,
That's big.
If
That
I'm
is
Coach
big.
K, my head is a volcano.
Yeah.
back, Baycock's back. I'm gonna be right back.
He's going back out there.
Manning's
Baycott
going
is
to, or
out
Baycock's
there.
going to check in.
That's guts. The question is that brains?
Yeah, that's a big, that's
the
a
best way to
big
put
question.
it.
But I
Yeah.
love his guts. I love his guts. As Nick the Legend mentioning, he is.
It looks like Hubert David's going to talk to him to make. I'm sure he's making sure that he's ready. I don't think he's going to do anything about it, but I think Baycott's going back in.
Yeah,
He looks ready. We'll see. He has 19 rebounds. Goodness gracious.
Oh wow! I mean,
This second free throw will tie it up here if they make it.
and to have that level of rebounding in a game like this, just bonkers.
Yeah, truly.
Just bonkers.
There he is. He's back out there. We'll see.
So 4:36 left in this game. It's big. Wow, only a combined 23 bench points from both teams and only two from North Carolina. It was both of those free throws were the bench points. So the longer this game goes on, Duke is definitely favored just because they're a little bit more rested.
Well, UNC also is in a lot more foul trouble.
Well, actually, I think Duke is.
No, I
because
just
of
looked
John
at it.
and-
No,
Okay.
well, Theo John's a bench player.
Oh, and Baycott has the ball. He gets double rebounds. They still can't make it in. They get the rebound again.
Shoot it.
Baycott gets the
Man.
rebound. It rims out
As far as
with 4 minutes left. North
Oh, my
Carolina
God.
and Duke are tied.
Yeah,
Oh, my word.
down to the final 350 in the semifinals in an ultimate rivalry game in the Final Four in what could be Coach K's last game.
Our TV.
The new regime and the old regime, you have it all in this game.
Just bonkers.
What were you saying, Rockley?
I said the new regime and the old regime with Hubert Davis and Coach K. You have both of them there.
Yeah.
I don't want to knock Hubert Davis in one sense, but it's also North Carolina is in itself just a program by itself is going to be bonkers in many ways if you have a good to great coach. But what Hubert Davis has done this year in the latter part of the season to get them back to this level of prominence and this level of excellence
Yes.
when it counts the most, I mean,
Yeah.
that's just a massive coaching job. If you could give an award for Coach of the Year for a 2-month period, Hubert Davis deserves it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, even look at what happened last year with Roy Williams just not having a great last season. And then just look at what happened this year. You can kind of tell that Hubert Davis was mainly the one that helped that go and gave the ability to really get in this tournament and get in the Final Four, obviously.
And Nick put it perfectly. He's back. As I don't know what Aaron Ruby is referring to.
The Muss is for Musselman, their coach, Eric Musselman.
Oh, I got you, Eric Musselman. I got that.
He's probably talking about the Muss bus.
I think we're just gonna have to go with
You want me to go on the computer and get the?
watching the game on a computer screen.
Yeah, so we might be. I think that'll put us ahead because it doesn't take the extra couple of seconds to cast.
We'll see.
And if one goes out, there are multiple feeds of this game. As if you're watching this on TV, there are 3 channels carrying this. You have TNT, TBS, True TV, and of course us.
And I love the fact that you have the local team broadcast on some of these.
Yes.
Yes,
I
yeah, I love that.
Those are always really interesting.
Yeah. I want to try this. See if we can get this cast working, but it's only on the screen though. But I mean, when the Badgers, for example, years ago went to the Final Four, we actually had a guy that I worked with for decades, Wayne Larrabee, the voice of the Packers, who also has been Bulls basketball, and you know this as much as anybody. just so amazing of a basketball announcer, doing the Badgers home feed with Mike Kelly.
But it did not work. It's behind.
Just special. Yeah, this could be behind this, so
So we'll
let's watch it on.
Broadcast of the game.
Yeah. Our Google Chromecasting is not being kind. So
We have a hockey update. The Blues and Flames are tied at 2 after the first period.
good to know.
And Arkansas broadcast of this individual game.
Watching the Arkansas broadcast of the game.
Oh man, that's my uncle for you.
I just have to say, too, especially for those of you in Charlotte, North Carolina, next time you build a stadium for the Carolina Panthers, do what I hope they do here in Philly for when the Eagles need a replacement for Lincoln Financial Field. Get a stadium with a retractable roof.
I don't even think we have anyone in Charlotte, but okay.
But even for you being so close, imagine the Final Four in Charlotte at a football stadium.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that may be a possibility. And to be honest, if they build a new stadium, I think it's going to be in the state of South Carolina where they have training camp, just because that's I think they would.
They'd stay in. There's not a city big enough like Charlotte.
Well, they wouldn't put it in like Greenville or a city. They just put it right outside of Charlotte, the same way they would for the Bears or the Niners.
Right on the border.
Correct. Yes. So where they do training camp is at Greenwood. What's the city called?
Yeah, Spartanburg.
Spartanburg. So they do it in Spartanburg, which is about 45 minutes from Charlotte. The Niners play an hour and a half.
Farther than that from Charlotte, I'm pretty sure.
45 minutes from here.
Yeah, it's 45 minutes from here. And Charlotte's like 2 hours, 2.5 hours from here.
Either way, the Niners play an hour
what a
and a
finish. Caleb Love has had a couple nice finishes.
He's had 20 points in the second half. He's really just blown up in the second half.
69-68 Tar Heels, Duke ball, 2:50 left.
This is what the game comes down to. This is it.
It's so our this game could very well get into the 70s.
Oh, it will.
Than we
It
thought
will.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, the 80s.
possibly. We might
New
have.
regulation.
We could see some overtime. Too.
Oh, you have a foul there on Wendell Moore. So it looks like North Carolina will go to
It's coming
they
back.
will go to shoot a 1-and-1.
It's coming back. Yep.
And it's sad to see the Bears moving out of Chicago into the burbs.
Yeah, well,
It's so historic.
I
yeah,
can't believe
it
that.
does really stink. But the Bears ownership and Mayor Lori Lightfoot have a lot of tension between them, and if she gets like kicked out of office in the next election, I think it's in 2023. Maybe the Bears stay in Chicago and they have a better relationship. But I know that Lori Lightfoot and the Bears do not have a very good relationship.
Speaking of it stinking, that matches the Bears. Might as well move them out.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, too, with that. As we're in the final 2:29 with the bearded wonder shooting some free throws and a countdown for Nick's birthday.
I got you.
But with that, with the Bears Stadium, I don't want to talk too much necessarily beyond the game, but we'll discuss this part of it. Is that even if they stay at Soldier Field, they lose a huge revenue opportunity by being able to build a stadium district.
Yeah, well, the problem with Soldier Field is not only do you lose that revenue opportunity.
We are tied.
No.
No, 3.
You're up by 1. It was a 3.
Wow.
Man, so this is – are they calling a timeout or is he just walking? Okay. Sometimes whenever they walk that way, they call a timeout. Man, with 1:50 left, North Carolina down by 1, 71-70. As you have a drive in, pass out to Manick for 3.
Got it.
Get him out.
I just did.
God.
Nick,
My gosh.
Nick, do all the extra stuff.
My gosh. Back in 4 threes. Back in 4 threes.
Oh, and a 3 from Duke.
Not there.
And
No
miss
good.
it. But knocked out by Bancaro. A 3 again.
Back in
It's
4
good. With 1:18 left in the game.
Man.
74-73. North Carolina is calling the timeout. Goodness gracious.
This is what this game,
And our camera just went out.
because it's these teams in this game, in this round, with this much at stake.
You have accounts that shouldn't be here. When you have accounts that shouldn't be here on your channel, you know that you're doing something right.
Yes. Oh my gosh. The back and forthness of this contest.
We lost.
There's the camera back. There
We're
we go.
back now.
There we go.
Good
I'm
now.
going to try and get us back on the screen since we're at a break.
Oh, also to John's comment about St. Louis getting an NFL team, yes, most definitely. They definitely need to get an NFL team. St. Louis showed their pride in their XFL team, the St. Louis Battlehawks. So I definitely think that they deserve an NFL team again if they ever think of expansion.
I mean, even if the NFL was to kind of create a D league, Seattle should for sure be.
St. Louis.
St. Louis. Now we're all talking about Seattle. Should for sure be in it.
I think that the challenge the NFL has now, though, is how do you create a 36-team league? I mean, you could probably do 3 divisions of 6 teams each, theoretically.
Yeah.
But really, your challenge becomes, where are there markets that you can successfully put teams in? Are there 4 more markets in North America to do it? And what the NFL loves, though, is to have more cities that can host a team than available franchises. Because if you have that, then they can make the ridiculous, idiotic profits that they make.
We have Coach K's wife, as I'm seeing right now. This feed is a little behind the actual one.
Yep.
We've got one feed on one, and the slower feed on another, and we see Coach K's wife high-fiving the Duke faithful.
We have a trivia question from Aaron Ruby. I believe that was Marquette over Loyola Chicago.
No, that would be.
No, that was Arkansas over Duke. It's always an Arkansas answer for my uncle. It's always just if he asked a question, it's most 90% Arkansas.
Yes. Yeah. Great answer though.
No problem. Chris Lernius discussing the idiotic profits of sports teams because they can play the shell game with cities and franchises. 74-73 Duke. We're nearing a minute left in this game.
Caleb, look! Oh my word! Whoa!
Whoa!
Get that shot!
That's RJ.
Or that's RJ Davis. I couldn't see the floor.
We're watching on a phone.
Goodness
Let me move that.
gracious!
Now we can see it better.
Let me move that here. John Jansen, you nail this.
Oh,
St. Louis,
miss-
Oakland, San Diego,
yeah.
all losing teams. 3 cities that want them. They want to have so many teams, so many cities that
Davis at the line.
battle teams.
The only one more that I would add is maybe a Memphis or another city in Texas, maybe. I don't know. Maybe this Austin.
Carolina time
Austin,
to stay up.
San Antonio, Orlando, Portland, Memphis, one of those kind of cities.
Oh man.
Just so we know, was it you, Dad, that said that?
Yeah.
75-74.
My dad's score was 79-76, just to remind everyone. My score was 95-91 double overtime. Anthony, you want to say yours?
I was 86-83 regulation. What do you have, Lincoln?
I think I was 87-82, and I'm pretty sure all of us picked UNC.
Yeah.
What was yours?
I didn't have a prediction, honestly. My bad.
You're good.
Next time, let me know. I'll gladly give you one.
You weren't on the first half, so.
Oh wow! Now we're hitting a free throw shooting game to decide this thing.
Man, this is just
Pressure.
Oh.
Just pressure.
I'm trying to just take in the moment
Went on an 18.
of how historic.
Not by himself. he
As
just-
Baycott,
Fouls out.
The Warriors went on it, and he just let it.
that is a.
Oh, wow. That's big. That is big.
Man,
news.
and yeah, Baycott's out.
Underneath.
But Duke already shot the first free throw, right?
No, it was 74-75.
Yeah, but they missed it, didn't they?
I don't think that
They haven't shot it? Okay, it's been so
Now
long since
a
the foul. I
lot
thought they
of
shot it.
Pressure on Brady Manick to be the big man.
I don't know if there's pressure necessarily to score, but definitely to rebound because neither of their big men have really scored very well inside. It's been Love and Davis driving and kicking.
That's true.
So here's the question here. If you're North Carolina, do you try to get in a shot before the 30-second marker to see if you can get another possession after Duke? Or do you try
No,
to
you just get a
oh,
bucket.
and he missed it.
Yeah, if I'm Carolina, I mean,
I try to
think
score.
You get what you can comfortably get. If you can pull it off, do it, but don't over focus on it.
And guys, we're around the same time, right? And he misses both.
That is a big miss there. Manic doing a great job at boxing out Bancaro with RJ Davis driving up the court.
If they lose this game, the memory of those free throws is going to be with him the rest of his life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
They are going to take this down to the wire. If you're North Carolina, you have to make at least a 2-point basket.
Shooting so far.
Got it! He made it!
Oh!
24,
Dagger!
2.8 left. Duke driving. Duke getting excited. He made it too.
He made it.
There's 20 seconds left on the clock. There's 20
you
seconds
had
left
to
on
score
the clock,
quick.
ladies and gentlemen.
And
they fouled.
quick.
They fouled.
And now it's a foul shooting contest.
4-point game. Duke has 22 seconds left.
That thing.
If you're UNC, you cannot miss both shots, and you have to try. If you hit, you try to have to hit both, just because that makes it a 2-point game again.
Oh, sure. I just
Two
saw.
possessions.
Oh,
Two
did they have a
possessions.
foul? Where's the foul?
They
Oh,
called a foul after he made the layup.
So 2-point game.
Oh, Caleb Love.
At the
Oh,
line.
it's a one.
And they fouled the wrong guy.
Yeah,
86.4 for the season.
man.
Roy Williams in attendance.
You can just see him just absolutely.
perfectly coiffed
shaking
white
up.
hair.
Yeah.
Just so we know, everybody, it's a 1-1.
Yep.
He makes the first one.
Yup. We're right on time with you.
And
You're only a second ahead of us.
If it's
I'm glad we got that figured out.
if it's a 4-point game, Duke's going to play the 3-for-2 game. They got
Yeah. And
Second.
Ooh.
he misses it. He misses it.
Well, he missed that one.
With
Oh,
16.
I was
What is he
looking
doing?
on. I was looking on the.
Got fouled.
Oh, wait.
Right? And what? No, that's not an and
Not an
one.
and one.
No, that's on the floor.
Oh, that's big. That's big. That was a good foul by North Carolina. Now he just shoots 2.
Very.
Yeah, that was I don't know if it was a good play, but it definitely ended up being a good foul.
Yeah.
Yeah, that good no call to say that was on the floor.
Yeah, right there is the foul. Before
Because he was still dribbling at the moment.
Yeah, that's not a shooting foul.
Oh, wow. Anthony Chimito, this is so close.
Yeah,
Learning. Here we go.
Oh, other
Hard
important
facts.
fact to point out is that this is North Carolina still has 2 timeouts left. Duke is out.
Man.
Which is big, because, especially with UNC being up. If they can't get the inbound or they get trapped, they just call the foul. And they have – oh, never mind. Duke has possession.
Man.
And Chris Learning brings up an interesting question. Make the first, miss the second at this point? I don't think so, because you can still play the 3-for-2 game on the next possession.
Yeah, you still have time.
Yeah, you just keep playing the 3-for-2 game. You have to make both of these free throws. You cannot be missing.
That would make it, again, a 1-point game. And then would they have to foul? No, they wouldn't.
Okay, I just want to say we're right now exactly on my dad's score of 79-76.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Well, so does that mean you having to mow lawns and do dishes?
No. We already did a bunch of lawn work today, so we did that part.
We all missed the start of our fantasy baseball draft because of
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were hauling some limbs off, and we get back, and it was 4 rounds in.
Wow, Keels is only a 70% free throw shooter. This is big.
Oh,
Yeah,
He
I
makes
missed
the first one, though.
round.
Wow, it's your score.
It's first. It's the first 79-77 Carolina. 10.4 left.
Who's shooting?
Trevor Keels.
Yep.
Okay. I don't
And
know.
he misses the
Man.
second one. Bancaro, they foul him.
Foul quick.
Love got fouled.
Okay, so it is a 2-point. It's a 2-point game. You have to miss one if you're Duke. They have to miss one. Bancaro may have been fouled down low by a North Carolina player.
Yeah, it's a loose ball.
True.
If you mix them both, game over.
Which one's Frederick?
The tall one.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm getting a graphic ready.
Oh, wow.
No, it'll be good.
And again, let's set the stage. winner goes to the national championship. And if
Got
UNC
it.
holds on,
That's huge.
8 seconds left.
Imagine being in Coach K's brain
Man.
at this moment.
Yeah, that was man. I think he knows this is it.
And I guarantee you he's putting his focus, his entire mental focus on this game.
Yeah.
But the moment that it sort of is, once it would happen, when it becomes academic that this is it, my gosh, what will be going through his mind?
I don't know what
Yeah.
And what's
To lose to North Carolina, both at home and here, wow.
What's even worse is just the guy that missed the 2 key free throws late in the game,
That's going to cost
and
him.
how he's going to be thinking about how that was it for Coach K. Because we know how they think. He's going to put all the blame on himself and say he ended Coach K's career.
And I guarantee you the first person that's going to come to him and console him is going to be Coach K.
Yeah.
Such a class act, and one of the best coaches in college basketball, has been an assistant on Team USA for the
And head coach for
yes.
some of the Olympic gold medals. But what he even more is a quality human being in so many instances that we've seen it. Like I remember after they beat Kentucky in that East Regional Final here in Philly in '92, that double overtime game, the first things he did was to find the Kentucky players and console them.
Yeah.
Oh, man. There it is. 4-point game.
And UNC, unless you
Oh,
That's it.
Three here.
miss,
Nope.
That's it.
and the Tar
UNC
Heels
moves on to the
move
title.
on.
man, I bet Will
Okay.
is so jacked right now.
Yeah.
I
Well, you
bet-
want to probably
The
explain.
coach is
who that-
dead. Not really.
man.
Long live the coach.
Yes.
Congratulations.
And Coach
Wow.
is now becoming an ambassador for Duke basketball. Such just a class act. And,
Yeah.
wow, as we see the Tar Heels celebrating, they'll be playing Monday night.
And Roy Williams pumping his fists.
And real quick before we hop off, let me get your guys' opinion on this. I think UNC personally, I think they match up better with Kansas because they have big physical bigs and they also play very good defense compared to UNC's bigs. I mean, Duke's bigs aren't as big and they don't play as good of defense.
I'll have a question for you after we discuss this too. I think also Carolina can play Kansas's speed game
Yeah.
Yeah.
better than Duke could have.
Yeah.
Carolina has more of an ability to beat you playing their game and beat you playing your game
Mm-hmm.
than any team I've seen in this tournament, and that's why they've advanced so much, because they don't have to control the tempo of the game to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I would say Carolina.
Yes, I 100% agree. Nick, I'll talk to you later. Yost, wow.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Aaron Ruby, Woo Pig, John Jansen, UNC over Kansas. I agree 100%. Go Heels.
While I ask the last question for you two guys, as I'm doing that, everyone go to the pinned links for Chicago Sports Network and Stat Sheet Sports American
Yes.
Football Network. Subscribe to them. Hit the bell for each of these
Ding, ding,
two
ding.
for when you get the notifications for when they release the awesome sports content that they create. Last question for you guys. Coach K, where do you rank him among the best coaches in college basketball history?
Number one.
Over Wooden.
Over John Wooden.
Number one. Yeah.
Here's the thing is I think that John Wooden, and like I'll give him a lot of credit for winning all those titles that he did, the same way that I give and here's the way I compare it, is the same way I compare Nick Saban and Bear Bryant. Is Bear Bryant did it in a little bit easier of a time compared to Nick Saban. So I just think that I think that the way that Coach K did it, just throughout history has been so impressive that I think that he's the number one coach. I think that you could definitely make an argument for Wooden, but I think that Coach K has also left a mark on this. The other thing is I think Coach K left his mark on Duke more than any other coach has left it on a single team. So
personally, too, I think we're both also more biased towards Coach K than Wooden just because we've grown up watching Coach K and we never watched Wooden. Not to mention, we also both of our teams are in the ACC,
Sure.
so we've experienced Coach K a lot, and like I said, we've just grown up watching him, not Wooden.
And for sure, Nick, I think, can agree with this. You guys and Coach K, no doubt the best basketball coach or at least college coach in our lifetime.
In our lifetimes, easily.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't even alive when Coach Wooden was coaching. I'll make the argument for Coach Wooden partially just to be a devil's advocate, and partially because honestly, I believe it. I completely get what you're talking about in terms of the recruiting battles today versus what you had back when Wooden was there. It's not as much of a challenge as, say, the comparison of like Belichick versus Lombardi in terms of the number of teams in a league, because you have the same amount of teams back then as you have today.
Really? I thought I didn't know.
Because in terms of college basketball, same amount of teams, same amount of programs, pretty much. The reason I would put Wooden ahead of Coach K is because, number one, he got more teams to win titles than Coach K did. And I think also he had more teams that you could put in the all-time list of the greatest teams in the history of basketball.
That's
now,
true.
you could argue, well, it was easier to recruit then, so he could pull that off. And you're probably correct when it comes to that. But the 1968 team and the 1973 team, Kareem and Bill Walton, if you look them up, I mean, they were heads and above better than anybody. And that 73 team is part of an 88-game win streak that I don't think you're ever going to see in any sport in American pro or college sports ever again. I mean, so to me, I would put Coach Wooden ahead, but you guys make fantastic arguments for Coach K as well.
Yes, and this debate is a great one that everyone it's an awesome one because they're two great all-time legends in college basketball.
Despite Aaron Ruby's thought of Nolan Richardson in 40 Minutes of Hell. But yeah, you make completely salient points about Coach K, and I don't blame you one bit for that argument.
And I think one thing, too, that Wooden has over Coach K is, as far as I know, I don't think Wooden ever had anything like sketchiness about him, but Coach K has had some sketchy stuff going on with him and just Duke in general. So I think that also kind of helps Wooden out a little bit as well.
Oh, there's some sketchiness in Wooden's case.
Okay.
Not him, but from UCLA backers at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, I think you could argue both sides.
Okay.
Have some issues with that.
Yeah. Because I know from living in Clemson and being a Clemson fan, there's definitely the conspiracy theory that Zion Williamson was paid $250,000 to go to Duke, but I don't think Coach K paid that or had anything to do with it.
Yeah, well, the fact is that's the cost of the laptops that Duke students get anyway.
Yeah,
so it wasn't an advantage over anyone else in the student body. But yes, by far, Coach's magic. He turned boys into men. Good players into great teams.
Yes.
We'll argue about the number one, but in terms of the quality of the human being himself, Coach K, absolute class act.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have it. Props to him. Salute. He. I think we all wish him a great retirement, and hopefully he'll get to sit back and relax and watch some Duke basketball.
Oh, he'll be around.
Yes.
He'll be around.
Any last words from you guys?
Other than thank you for having us on. It's been a great time with both of you. It's been a great game. So thank you for having us on, and thank you for just being able to be great hosts during this. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was a lot of fun. Glad we could do it.
Let's do this again. And thank you for embracing this kid right here as much as you have.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For
and
sure.
On YouTube and beyond. YouTube and beyond. Great stuff. And you two are fantastic channels. Everyone, if you go see the pinning on the top of the chat, go follow, go subscribe to these two guys. Hit the notification bells for them and check out their awesome sports talk discussions. as we have one final comment from Aaron.
I think that ends it. I think that really
Yeah.
does it just insinuates what this whole conversation has been about.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I'm going to do it this time. For
Okay.
Daddy, Lincoln, Rockley, I'm Anthony.
So long
from
Sorty Story Studios in Philadelphia.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya.